Hello and welcome to Doncaster Motorcycles YouTube channel. It's been a couple of days since I last posted a decent video. Today I'm going to be filming in time lapse the linkage. You remember the short I put on the other day regarding the no suspension, all rock solid. Got a few thousand likes. I appreciate everybody watching it and hitting that like button. So yes, I'm going to strip it down and we're going to find out what we can see inside. I'm expecting a load of rusty bearings and some rusty sleeves. So we need to find out and diagnose what's wrong with it before we order the parts. So first thing we're going to do before we start ripping into it and trying to get it all apart is a good squirt of the Bulldog BDX. It's penetrating, loosening fluid. Should help make the job a little bit easier, so we'll give that a few minutes to soak in before we remove the 17mm headed nuts from the bolts. Hopefully it's not seized too solid, that them bolts will just slide out and then I can assess the linkage. Those bolts came off pretty easy after there was a little bit of a spray of the Bulldog BDX available here at Doncaster Motorcycles, of course. So if you can see in there, it's not going to be great for the camera angles because it's buried in the middle of the bike, but the bolts are off, the nuts are off, sorry. And there's like a triangle shaped plate, which is the linkage, or part of the linkage. So we're going to jack the bike up to take a little bit of pressure off that, and then that plate should, well, that plate might come off. No, not quite. Oh yeah, right. There. That's this side of the plate. Obviously I can't take the other side off until we've got the weight taken off the bike, but at least now you should be able to see if I get my torch. There is the offending article. You can see the sleeves are rusty. The corrosion's pretty bad. So we'll take the weight off the back end of the machine and then see if we can pull them out. Well, that didn't take long at all. So as you saw, I took the weight off the rear wheel, jacked it up a little bit, just enough, and the plate has come out. The bolts have come out free, which is good. Sometimes they seize in to the sleeves. So see if I can take this linkage bar out, dog bone or whatever you want to call it. I think one of the sleeve and the bearing in the bottom of the shock is spinning quite freely and looks, I'll show you it, I'll take it out, I'll show you. I'm going to clean that up and grease it up anyway. We don't need to replace the bearing and sleeve on that one, which will save a small fortune. That's not in bad shape. Once that's cleaned up on the end and we've packed some grease into the bearing, that's salvageable, perfectly alright. In an ideal world, you replace all the lot, but when you want to keep the costs down, you only do what's necessary. So I've took the nut off the front bolt of the dog bone, and the bolt is solid, it's not coming out. So to give it a bit of a knot with the gentle persuader and a drift, along with the sleeve that's in the swinging arm. The swing arm, pivot, bush and bearing looks like probably the main one that's seized. Gentle persuader, where are you? So, drift. So, shine the one in the swinging arm. Now, you can just hear from the tone that is absolutely solid. That should just push out. That should just push out with your fingers without any resistance at all. And it is absolutely solid. That one's moved. That one's moved. So that should hopefully come out altogether. Yeah. So we've got that one out. Looks like, to be fair, focus in on that. Let it focus. Switch off. Anyway, you see how it's just the head that's corroded into the frame. Again, that's the one that's not too bad. That's the good one. Similar to the shock one, that'll clean up okay. The bearing inside, seals it all out well. So we can clean that and re-grease it up. This end, this is what you want to see. The bearing's already falling out as I'm trying to pull the sleeve out. Look at that. Look at that. Like I say, these sleeves should just push out without any resistance at all. And it's proving a taxing. I'm gonna have to get some assistance with a pair of pliers. Oh look at the state of that. You can even see where it's all worn away. See the big amount of wear there. It's elongated and damaged bearing, obviously. So I think what we'll do, too bright is the light. There's nearly no bearing left in there. It's all just rust. You see how there should be some needle. In fact, I'll show you in comparison to the other side. There we go. That's pretty much what it should look like. See, there's no bearing there. Half the needle rollers are missing. A couple dropped onto the floor. There we go, there's a clear shot. Well, there was. You get the gist of it. Actually looks like the arm is worn. Might be a complete new arm bearing and sleeves on there. So the problematic one is actually going to be the swing arm. I'm going to have to get some of the lube, some of the bulldog BDX out, and we'll see if we can get some into that to sort of soak it in for a while, make the job a little bit easier, and then see if it'll drift out. Maybe, I mean, worst case scenario, the swinging arm's going to have to come out and have to get it in the press, but I hope it doesn't come to that. We'll try a bit of lubrication, a bit of heat first, see how we get from there. Bit of gentle persuasion and Dr. Teppy's big guns, see if we can sort it without taking the swinging arm out to save a few quid on labour on that side of things. So you just saw me, we soaked it in some Bulldog BDX for a while. That did help, I think. I mean, that along with my extreme strength, of course. Now I've just got to get me the drifter. But this is the bearing that's supposed to stay inside the swinging arm along with the sleeve. So I think it gozzed the seal out, hit Neil in the face. He's having a cry over there, he's like not happy about it. Yeah, I squirted his watch with BDX and now he's got a smeary watch, but by the by, I'm not bothered about that. I'm sure he'll get over it. His watch will clean. And we've got the bearing out. I'm going to get me my drift out of me. I'm just stuck into the sleeve here first, but so we need to order a full set. A full set of fresh. So seized solid suspension linkage. Just and I know people will ask this. I believe it's been asked before. We have had this situation a few times before. This one's not too bad. I have had worse. I have had much worse. I'll get asked about a very simple question. Is that part of my service schedule to have it cleaned and greased? No, it's not. It's not on any service schedule. But it's highly advised. You just mention it to us when you book it in, or anybody you take it to, or yourself, to do it sporadically, maybe every couple of years, just to drop the bolts out, drop the sleeves out, and just pack the bearing with grease, fresh grease. Make sure the dust seals are intact, doing the job, stopping all the corrosion and water from getting in. Water, in fact, causes corrosion. That'll save you. I know it does. It's not a big job. It's not a long job. But that'll save you this massive heartache, because these are not cheap. These bearings and sleeves, and especially that linkage, is going to be more than just a couple of quid. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tidy everything up, piece it back together, because it's going to be put to one side for at least a few days while we get the new parts. And then when I can get it all cleaned up and get it all back together and give the second part of the video. But as for now, we diagnose what's wrong with it and we can get the ball rolling. Thanks for watching. I was going to end the video there and make you wait till part 2, but I thought I'd take this opportunity before I piece it all back together to sit in the corner for storage, to give you a bit of a close-up of the bits. Now we can see them all together. That's the one of the offending articles, so that goes in there. Bad. But it looks like the I won't know, to be fair, till I get that pressed out. I'm going to have to press that out before I put it back together, just to see if there's any wear on the linkage arm, bone, dog bone, whatever you want to call it, It's got many names. And it is the one. I think this is what we're causing all the major issue of the suspension not moving at all. It was locked solid. This one, as you can see, is seized. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but it's just super seized. So that won't be moving at all. That's supposed to rotate. The middle bit's supposed to rotate in the outer bit, which is the bearing. And when the bolt was bolted, that'll locked it all solid. That won't have allowed any movement whatsoever. Is that even a saying? That won't have allowed any movement at all in the travel of the swing arm or the suspension. So I think that not moving has caused the elongation and the smashing of this bearing. That's been taking all the impact, I would presume. The suspension one seems okay, and so does that one, which is the front one. So I think they'll have been allowed to sort of maybe, well, they've not had any impact. It's all been taken by them too. So that's it. Yeah, again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if you find anything interesting or want any advice or any questions. I'm more than happy if I get the time to have a sit down and have a chat. But yeah, this is going to go in the corner now. It's going to weep some tears. In fact, it is going to cry on the floor because the fork seals are also gone. So it's been marking its territory, this one. So it does need a bit of work. But they're all easy stuff. We needed to assess the situation on this before we did anything more. And the cost, obviously. Is it going to be worth doing? So that's it. See you in the next one.